Greetings. This is Father Steve, your pastor at Our Lady Queen of Angels, and just a couple thoughts about the readings coming up for this coming Sunday, the third Sunday of Easter. First of all, just to kind of acknowledge, hopefully you got a break a little bit if you have family and relatives and you're able to get together for a little bit of Easter celebration or go on a little vacation or respite. Hopefully you got to have a few chocolate bunnies and eggs along the way. Well, one of the things about Easter, like a lot of holidays, they're kind of one and done. They kind of happen and then they're over, and we kind of pack up the Easter bunnies and we pack up things and kind of move on to the next event. But the wonderful gift for us as Christians, especially as Catholic Christians who observe a liturgical calendar, is that we have the opportunity to reflect on these moments, significant life-changing moments, more than just a moment, our particular day, but over a period of time. And so the church gives us the Easter season that will run all the way to Pentecost, the Feast of Pentecost, the coming of the Holy Spirit upon the apostles. And so we have several weeks to take a little bit of time and reflect on the meaning of Easter. Last week, we had Jesus appearing to his disciples two times, one with Thomas, one without, and that whole image or that metaphor of Jesus having the capacity to walk through locked doors, come through into those spaces that we kind of, in a sense, lock him out of. And that was just a great reflection for me about how those doubts and fears that sometimes keep us from Jesus, Jesus, if we're open to it, has the capacity to enter even those doubts and fears. And this week, there's still that same kind of setting where the disciples are still unsure and they're afraid and they're struggling, and they've just met again with the two disciples that experienced Jesus on the road to Emmaus, and they experience him in the sharing of the scriptures and also in the breaking of the bread, which is kind of a hint or a clue about Eucharist. I think today there's this sense in Luke's gospel about, is Jesus a spirit? Is he physically present to them? And so the gospel uses several images about, give me something to eat. I'm physical. I'm here with you. And he's not just a disembodied, resurrected Christ. He's actually present body and in spirit. And that's really coming out of this struggle that the early church had about the meaning of resurrection. Is this just a spiritual resurrection, or is there something more than that? And for us as Catholic Christians, really the whole Christian community, that we do believe in the final resurrection when all of us, which is us, is raised to the glory of God. So that's something to look forward to. But it can be a little intimidating to think about it. So maybe a place to start just for a moment is realizing our five senses. Now, we learn these things as kids, and sight, smell, taste, hearing, all that. But to think about it again in more of a way that God uses these five senses to communicate to us the beauty of creation and his presence. So I think of like touch, and I loved putting my little finger out to a little baby who's in a carriage or in the stroller, and just watch how they kind of just grasp your little finger. And that moment of, wow, this is what makes us truly human, that grasping of touching this little tiny, beautiful little hand. And I just always have kind of taken great delight in that touch of an infant's hand. Sight, gosh, there's beauty all over the place here in Newport Beach. The sights and of the sunsets and the sunrises, the ocean, all of that kind of natural beauty is a great gift just to kind of be sensual about and realize God created this that we could understand beauty. Smell. Now, I have to admit, when I'm driving by like a Carl's Jr., I like the smell that they push out of a cooking hamburger. But think of some of those smells in your life that you go, wow, that perfume resonates. Oh, I have a memory of that. Or the smell of a great fire down by the beach, and all the great memories that kind of brings forth at a time of celebrating, being family and friends. A sound. I think one of the most significant pieces of music that strikes my soul is a short piece by Heinrich Górecki. He was a Polish composer who put to music poetry in Polish that is the depiction of a mother who's lost her son in one of the camps in World War II. And he put that to very powerful, haunting music. You cannot help but be moved by that sound. Taste, now I have to admit, I had a few chocolate bunnies over Easter, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, the whole gamut. And it just reminded me of the sweetness that life can have. So just to think a little bit this week, just about in some of the ways that maybe some of our five senses have opened us up to the presence of God and the love of Christ in our lives. A little bit off this week, but something to think about as we come forward into the scriptures for the third week of Easter. God bless. Have a safe and holy week.